Hi friends, it's Lauren here at Craft Some Joy, and I hope you are ready for a fabulous edition of Scrap with Us. My buddy Kylie at Paper Sweet Pea and I have teamed together to bring you another fun edition of Scrap with Us. We are using the Happy Hauntings collection from Creative Memories. Can't wait to share with you these awesome new page ideas. So when you're done here, make sure you check out Kylie's video. I will leave her social, shopping, and YouTube link right in the description of this video. And if you're in Australia, she's your girl. Okay, so are you ready to have a fabulous time making some pages? Let's jump in. So today we are going to make this really fun 2-page spread using the Happy Hauntings collection from Creative Memories. And when I saw this collection, I knew I had the perfect photos to go with it. So I hope you can dig out some fun Halloween photos and create this layout along with me. So I did want to share a fun feature that I've added to this 12 by 12 pocket page, which is a 5 by 7 peekaboo pocket. And I hope you were able to see that it has some little stars in there, little sprinkles that kind of move around when you open and close that peekaboo pocket. Let's jump in and take a look at the supplies we're going to need in order to create these pages. So first, let's take a look at all the decorative components that we are going to need for this collection. So we are going to be using some of the stickers from the sticker pack. We're also going to be using some of the Happy Hauntings laser cut embellishments. These are so cute. And then we're going to need a lot of paper to do this 2-page layout. In addition to the 2 Happy Hauntings packs, I also used some black midnight shimmer paper. As you can see, it's got this awesome shimmer to it, and a piece of white cardstock. And then from the Happy Hauntings paper pack, we are going to use both of the wood paper, both sheets of the wood paper, and it has the frames on the back. We're going to need both sheets of the purple star paper as well, and that has the orange pattern paper on the back. We're going to need 1 sheet of the bat paper, which has kind of the mummy pattern on the back of that one. We are also going to need 1 sheet of the floral paper, which has the moon on the back, and then 1 sheet of the purple moon and star paper, which has all of that glitter on the back. So those are the papers from the Happy Hauntings collection. And then I also picked out a couple shades of Happy Hauntings paper as well. One is the purple and black stripe, and that has kind of this brushed pattern on the back. And then this one is the polka dot, orange polka dot pattern. And this is what I actually cut my title out of that you can see here. And it has this purple pattern on the back of this one. So if you don't plan on cutting a title, you won't need this paper. And if you don't have the Happy Hauntings pack, there are other sheets that you could substitute. You could do another sheet of the bat paper instead of the stripes. Okay, but these are the ones that I did use on my layout. In addition to our Happy Hauntings paper packs and cardstock, we are going to need some tools. So I will be using the spiderweb border punch, also either the new bat border maker cartridge, or if you have the starry border cartridge too, this is a great one for punching out all those cute little stars that can shake around in the peekaboo pocket. We are going to need the border maker system to use one of those with. Okay. And then also we're going to need our red blade from the custom cutting system and the medium oval pattern. We're also going to need some regular adhesive, some repositionable adhesive, and of course my favorite, foam tape. If you like the idea of adding a peekaboo pocket to the top of your page, then I would grab a 5 by 7 size so that we have enough room to make that really neat frame that you saw on my page. This is a top opening peekaboo pocket, so it flips up like this. Okay, so let's get started cutting our paper. So the first paper we are going to cut is this gold sparkle paper. And the first cut is just a very, very small 1/4 inch strip. And the 1/4 inch is just to the edge of your gray cutting mat. And so it's going to be just a tiny little strip of sparkle paper, just like that. So let's set that aside. And then the next strip is going to be 1 3/4 inches. So I'm going to move it over here to the left side and just cut another strip down that's 1 3/4 inches long. Okay, and we're going to set that one aside as well. Next is our purple paper with the stars on it. And for this paper, we're going to cut an 8-inch strip. And if you look at the back, you can see that it is directional. So we are going to turn the paper. I'm going to turn it so that the orange pattern is going this direction. Okay, so you can see that. All right, so I'm going to slide this over to 8 inches and make a cut. This piece is extra, so I'm going to put it to the left in my extra pile. And then we are going to cut this piece to 9 3/4 inches. So just right here, just before the 10-inch mark, 9 3/4 inches. And we are going to need to use this paper. So let's set that aside, the orange side. And then we are also going to use this rectangle. Okay, same paper. We're going to now do the same cut. We're going to do an 8-inch cut, but this time we're going to leave it intact. And this strip is extra, so we're going to put that over in our extra pile. And then we're going to need this big piece that is an 8 by 12 piece. Okay, so the next two pieces are our black wood paper. And what you want to do is whichever direction you want them, whether you want the wood horizontal or vertical, you need to make sure they're both the same direction. Okay, so this one, what we're going to do is cut 2 2-inch strips off of the side. Okay, so here's one, and move it over and cut a second. Okay, and we're going to need both of those 2-inch strips, and this piece is extra. For the next paper, what I'm going to do is actually cut a chunk out of the center here because I'll need it for background, but I want to save that paper that's on the inside. So what I'm going to do is actually come at 2.5 inches on my trimmer, place my paper there. I'm going to go down to the 10-inch mark and stop. I'm going to flip my paper over, again, go to the 2.5 inches, stop at 10. Okay, so now I'm going to make the connecting cut. So I'm going to start at 9.5 where I have my blade, and then I'm going to go all the way up to 2.5 and then stop. Okay, and that should get you pretty close to getting that center section cut out from your wood piece of paper. So this is an extra. We can put that in our extra pile, but we are going to need to use this piece of paper. Okay, so next let's move on to our bat paper. And for this, we're going to cut a 5 by 7. So let's go ahead and slide that over to the 5. Go ahead and make one cut. This piece is extra. We're going to rotate and turn it and cut at the 7. And you'll notice this is also a directional paper. So I have my bats going up and down because my 5 by 7 peekaboo pocket is a portrait pocket. Okay, so I'm going to set that aside, and we can put this aside as an extra. And then our rose paper. So for this paper, we're going to cut it at 2 inches and create a strip. We're going to rotate this, and we're going to cut it at 8. right here. This is a little spare extra. We're going to need the larger piece. And then we're going to take that same paper and cut another 2-inch strip. And this one is going to get trimmed to 6.5. And the rest of that paper is also extra. Okay, so I need the 6.5-inch piece. The other piece is in my extra pile. Okay, so before we jump into the cardstock, I want to just go ahead and cut the last piece of pattern paper. And this is the stripes, and I do have them going vertically. And again, this is going to be a 5x7. So I'm first going to cut a 5-inch strip here. This is extra. And then I'm going to rotate it and cut at 7. And then this piece here is actually what we'll be using for the journal box. So go ahead and keep that in your use pile as well as your 5x7 piece. Okay, so the last piece is with our white cardstock. And for this, we're going to cut a 4.25-inch strip. And then we're going to rotate it and cut it at 6.25. And set that 4.25 by 6.25 to the side. And we're going to do the same thing one more time. And we're going to cut at 6.25 here. Okay, and we'll set this aside. Now the last piece of pattern paper is the orange dot paper, and this is what I use to cut the title, if you'd like to use that template and add that to your page. Okay, last up is the black shimmer paper, and so this paper we are going to use the spider web punch with, and we're just going to punch one strip, and we're going to make this not a frame, just a straight strip. So I am using the grid, the lines right here on the front of the punch, just lining it up there to start. And then I'm going to scoot that over and just line that up on the template. Okay, so it's just one spider web per punch. All right, here we go. And our last one is right here. Okay, so once we have our spider web punched, we just need to trim that down with the personal trimmer. And we're just going to trim off, I'll turn it this way. We're going to trim it off so that the top of the spider webs is at 1.25 inches. We're just right there. 1.25 inches. Okay. Just trim that. And then we're going to turn the punch strip and we are going to cut these last two spider webs off. So we need to cut it at the 4-inch mark. Okay, just right here. And then we're going to cut these two in half one more time. Okay, so now we have the cute little tabs for our peekaboo pocket with the spider web punch, and then we have this really fun 8-inch strip of spider webs. Okay, it's time to start building our page. Are you ready? Let's go. So let's first start by building our left-hand side base page. And what I'm going to do is put this wood paper down that I've cut the chunk out of the center. And then we're going to start working on building the purple. And don't worry that that is too short because we're going to add some layers to this piece. So what I want you to do is grab the rose paper that we cut at 2x8 and also your spider web punch. And let's go ahead and add our spider web first. So we're going to need our repositionable adhesive. And let's just add a little bit of that to our spider web. So now let's just take our spider web punch piece and just add it to the side of the rose paper. And I'm leaving, I would say, about ½ inch, ½ inch reveal, just a little bit of a reveal, so that we can really see that beautiful rose paper peeking out from the side. So now I'm going to add some adhesive to this strip right here, just down like that. And then we're going to place our purple paper right on top. Okay, now we're going to need that little tiny piece of glitter paper that we created, the little ½ inch strip, and we are going to need to add just a little bit of adhesive to that as well. And for this one, I'm just going to have you go ahead and place this right at the edge of that purple paper, okay, and let that end piece fall off. And then we're just going to snip this edge off, but make sure that you hang on to it because we will use it in another place of our layout. Okay, so hang on to that. So now we have our layers to this paper set. We can go ahead and place it right over the cutaway part of our black wood paper, just like that. Perfect. Okay, so I'm just going to add a little bit of adhesive here to the sides and the top. And if you are working directly on a page, you could just easily adhere this straight down to your page. Or if you're working on a piece of cardstock, you can do that as well. Okay, so I'm going to make sure when I'm lining this up that I'm placing the top of my purple square right here at the 2-inch line, okay? So it's going to go from the 2 right over here to the 10. Okay, we want that to be right in the center of our paper, just like that. Okay, and once we have that down in place, we are ready to just add our white mats right here to the front. So go ahead and just put a little adhesive on that cardstock. And then this page will be just perfectly ready for 2 of your favorite 4x6 Halloween photos. Just pop them down and you're ready to go. Okay, so this is the base for the left side. Let's go ahead and work on the base for the right side, and then we're going to come back and do some of the embellishments. So for this side, I actually wanted to save paper once again. So we are going to do some welding with tape chips. And we are going to use the black wood paper on the top and the bottom of your purple paper. So I'm actually going to go ahead and flip these all over. And then I'm going to use the tape chips to weld these together. Okay, so just going to grab a few tape chips. This is one of my favorite techniques. I know you've probably seen me do it so many times in my videos, but it does really save paper because you're getting that effect of having a full layer behind your paper, but really it's just a couple strips cut, and then you get to save the whole rest of your sheet of paper. Now let's add some decorative layers into this corner. We are going to use the orange strip that was the leftover from our purple cut over here, and we're going to cut this down to about 5.5. So just to the edge of your trimmer, go ahead and just take that little piece off. That'll be extra. You can save that in your extra pile. And we're going to place this up here in the right corner, as well as our rose paper. So we're just going to kind of layer these both right here. What I want you to do with this gold glitter paper with the moons on the back is just go ahead and cut a 5.5-inch strip off of this. And then we're going to take the remaining piece and we're going to cut this at 2.5. Okay, go ahead and cut that at 2.5. And we are going to then take the last piece, the larger of the two pieces, and set that aside. And then we are going to work with the small, the little 2-inch piece. And now, yes, we are going to do something very different. And we are going to crumple our paper. Just like that. Oh, it's a fun part. Okay, so what we want to do is just make this paper feel like it's kind of worn and used. And so we're just going to go ahead and give it some love and do some nice, fun crinkling. And if you get a little tear, that's okay, because it just kind of makes it all the better. So make sure you pay attention, close attention to the ends, and really kind of get some crinkles in them. And then same up at the top, just do some crinkles. And then go ahead and just pull over the top so you can see some of that glitter, and the same for the bottom. Now the larger of these two pieces is going to kind of just be right here, sitting on top of this cluster, okay? And then this little piece over here is going to go on the base page that we just created over here, okay? So let's go ahead and give that some love too. Just crinkle it up, give it some love, and then do the same thing on the ends. I'm just really kind of working that paper. It's looking like it's been around a while now, okay? And then we are going to, again, just kind of tab over the top and a little bit of the bottom. And this is going to go right over here. Now we have some more layers to put on before we finish that, but on this side, we can go ahead and add these 3 layers to this base page. Okay, so let's start with the orange layer right here, and this is going to go down. And the top of these line up with the top of the page. Then the white rose paper. Okay, and then I'm just going to go ahead and add some adhesive kind of right here in the middle to my page. And then I'm just going to place this paper right down on top of it. And this is kind of just sitting there and looking old and crumply. And it's going to be a fun layering piece when we add our stickers and embellishments. Okay. All right. So our next piece is going to be to get our peekaboo pocket ready. And I'm going to have us do the peekaboo pocket setup before we add this piece, which is going to be for the journaling. Okay, so we're going to add our peekaboo pocket, and then you can turn this leftover piece whichever direction you want, whichever part you want to see, and then just do your journaling right over here. Okay, so first let's work on doing our cutout for the 5x7. So I'm just going to move this over here since I need my cutting mat. And for these, we are going to use the custom cutting system, the medium oval pattern. We're going to cut on the outside track with the red blade. And just so you know, for a 4x6 photo, using the medium pattern outside track red blade is the largest oval that you can get that will actually fit a 4x6. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and just move the blade around, make sure we're loose, and then set this piece aside. And we're going to have this fun oval that we can do something else with. And we're going to do the same thing to the back paper. Okay, we're just going to center it on our 5x7 and go on the outside track with the red blade. Now now we have 2 fun frames for our 5x7 peekaboo pocket. Now, if you didn't get these perfectly centered, not to worry, because remember, we're going to put photos on both sides of the frames, okay? Just like that. So I'm just going to slide these in and kind of keep them as a placeholder for the photos to go in. And one thing you just need to remember is that when you flip your peekaboo pocket up, you want the batt paper to be in the correct orientation. Okay, so if I'm sliding them in this way with the adhesive up and the opening in the back, I'm going to slide it in just like this, so that when I turn it over, the batts will be facing upward. So once we have our placeholder with the 5x7 peekaboo pocket, we can go ahead and set that in place, kind of where you want it to be on your page. And then take your additional little square and go ahead and tuck that under so that you can see kind of lined up where you want that to be. So it would be your choice. Do you have a lot to say? You might want to flip it around so that there is more white space for you to do your journaling on, or you can flip it sideways, whatever you prefer. I kind of like it just like that, and that looks good. So I'm going to go ahead and set this in place, add a little bit of adhesive here to my page, and go ahead and I'm actually getting that centered one more time, just like that. And then once we have our journaling box in place, we want to add this little tiny leftover strip of gold. Add a little bit of adhesive. And then let's add that right to the top of the journal box. Okay. So right now this might look a little unfinished, but if you remember on my layout, I actually included a spot for a 4x6 directly on the page, and then you'll have space for 2 4x6s, one on the front and one on the back of your peekaboo pocket. Okay, so actually once you get all of those in place, you'll see that everything is lined up and taken care of. Okay, so now let's get into some of the embellishing and decorating, which is always so fun. So from our Happy Hauntings laser cut embellishments pack, we are going to need the fence out of the long strips. Okay, so go ahead, open that up and grab the fence. Okay. And we're going to be using the white side, white and lavender side. And then out of the smaller embellishment pack, we are going to need the one that says spooky on it with the spider webs. Okay, so we're going to set that over here. And the rest of these are just waiting for some other fun Halloween pages. So let's get these out. So from our sticker pack, we are just going to need our icon stickers, and we'll have those ready. And this is the perfect opportunity to grab your foam tape or foam square. Okay, and I'm just going to run a little repositionable adhesive all along the back of the fence. I'm just placing this fence just so that this top part of the fence is hitting right at the side of that purple paper, and this little fence post right here is ending up at the edge of my page. And so now I'm going to just flip that over and grab my precision tip scissors and just trim that little extra piece off. But hang on to it, because we're actually going to take this cute little piece and then just add this. Might have to add a little more adhesive. Might add a little more adhesive to this, because we're going to be putting it right on top of that crinkle paper. So I'm going to put this right here, just kind of in the center of my crinkled paper. Now, once we have our fence down, we can go ahead and add our second piece of crinkled paper right here. And it's going to go right at this intersection of the fence and the rose. So it's just going to go right in here. Okay, just that fun little area. So I'm going to add some adhesive and then just go ahead and stick that right in that area. Okay, and the more worn it looks, the better. It just makes it that much more fun. And so on this side, we're going to just layer some sticker clusters right here in this corner. So I'm going to add some roses. And then I love this little stacked pumpkin, and I'm going to use some foam tape just to give this one a little dimension. Okay, so I'm going to just get a couple snips of my foam tape and add that to the pumpkins. And those pumpkins are going to just kind of go right over the edge. And the roses just right here. Okay. And just to finish off this little cluster, I'm going to grab this cute little pumpkin and just tuck it under, since we have dimension on this stacked pumpkin set. Okay, so really this page is now finished. All it needs is that fun cut title if you'd like to use the download for that, and your photos, and you're ready to go. Okay, let's move on to our right hand side. And for this side, we are going to do this cute house as our main cluster centerpiece. And so I'm just going to cut a few strips of foam tape to give this piece, this sticker, some dimension. Once again, for this cluster, I am also going to be adding some roses. So I have roses down here on the bottom left, and I'm going to put some more roses up here in the top right. So I'm going to go ahead and take these strips off so that I can kind of play with both of these for placement when I get them in here. So what I'm aiming for is that the roses are kind of coming towards the top, just in here. And this corner is giving kind of this nice orange backdrop right here. Okay, so I've got that down in place. And now all I have to do is add a couple more pumpkins and we will be good. So let's go ahead and use this cute little jack-o'-lantern. So that might just need a little bit of foam tape to keep it from flopping around. So I'm just going to take a little piece and add that right under the side, just to the side, because the house is already up on foam tape. And then I'm just going to add this cute little purple pumpkin sitting right back in here too. Okay, so that really completes that fun little cluster. Then we just need to add our spooky laser cut embellishment. So I'm going to add some repositionable adhesive to this. And this is going to just go ahead and kind of hold your 5x7 pocket in place. And this is just going to go right down here on the edge, just kind of ready to go out in the bottom corner here. And then we have our fun little spider web embellishment. Now for these, I do go ahead and use your adhesive on the whole piece. Okay, so we're going to use it on the whole piece because one side is going to go on one side of the peekaboo pocket. And then we're going to flip it over and the other side is going to match up. And then you're going to stick those together. Once they're matched up, go ahead and press those together. And that's going to be your little flap. But we're not done because this little black cat with the glitter moon is just too cute. And this is going to be your choice. You could either add this sticker or another sticker of your favorite choice right here directly to the peekaboo pocket. But of course, I always like just a little more dimension. So I went ahead and added some foam tape to the back of this cute little cat. Now we can just add our cute little cat with the glitter moon right here to the front of our peekaboo pocket. And what's fun about this is that it can go ahead and overlap the circle because your photo is going to be on the inside of that. And this will just always be on the outside. Now, our one final little detail is to add a little sprinkle, if you would like, to your 5x7 peekaboo pocket. So I'm going to go ahead and grab the moon and star paper that has the glitter on the back, because for me, I loved seeing the moons with the glitter. But again, you could use any, there's plenty of paper left over, so you could use whatever you like to create your sprinkles. So I'm just going to add this into my border maker. And then I would also suggest just grabbing an index sheet. This is one of the Happy Hauntings index sheets, and set that down before you start punching, because on this one, what we're going to want are the actual fallout from the punch. So I'm going to start with the Starry Border Maker cartridge, and just because this gives so many perfectly sized stars once you're done punching. So go ahead and just pull out these pieces that we don't need. Okay, so really all we want are these really cute little stars. So you can kind of clean this up a little bit. If there's a half star and you don't want that in your shaker, just go ahead and pull those out. If you'd like to see the bats, let's go ahead and switch the cartridge, and we'll put the bats in. And you may also want some of those bats to be sprinkles, because they are super cute as well. So it kind of depends on, I would think it kind of depends on your photo and what you have that you want to add these sprinkles to. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and start. And we have all those fun sprinkles now too. Okay, so you can see that's a really good amount of different kinds of sprinkles. Now you could do another couple rows of that if you wish, or you could just use however much of the sprinkle effect that you would like. Now, something I just want to mention is that once you get your photos in here, those sprinkles will stay kind of on one side or the other. So you may want to add a few more sprinkles so that there's a few on both sides. So I'm just taking that paper and then just adding those little pieces to the inside of my peekaboo pocket. And you can see them in there. And those little bats do look super cute. Okay, so let me show you that. Just like that. Now, I do want to mention that these are not closed pockets. So what I had to do, because I noticed every time I opened and closed, little stars would fall out. I did have to take some tape, some double-sided tape. I used some red tape and added that to the bottom. So now my pocket is sealed against the paper, on both sides, on the top and on the bottom. So now I'm free to just kind of lift that pocket and let those sprinkles flow where they need to go. But it's just such a fun little detail. So I hope you have your pages ready for some of your favorite Halloween photos. And remember, you can get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different photos on this 2-page spread, and you also have room for journaling. So I hope you enjoyed having this little scrap with me session, and as always, make sure to check out Kylie's video on Paper Sweet Pea. And if you are interested in the downloads, those are available at my website, craftsomejoy.com. And also, Kylie's going to have her downloads available on her website at Paper Sweet Pea. And those include the cutting guides and all the instructions. And I'm also including this fun little fabulous title. And if you'd like to see some close-ups and stills of these pages, make sure to hop on over to my Instagram at craft.some.joy, or Facebook at Craft Some Joy with Lauren Hinds, and take a look at all the photos that I'll upload of these pages. All right, friends, until next time, then I hope you take some time to craft some joy, and I can't wait to scrap with you next time. See you then. Bye for now.